Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
At Amazon, we're pretty good at getting things done. We're pretty good at solving problems. COVID-19 is the biggest challenge we've had to face. The challenges are what motivate us. Like flying masks to our employees around the world. We're doing everything we can to get you what you need, and doing everything we can to keep our people safe. I'm former Navy pilot Sarah Rhodes, and I'm proud to lead our Amazon Air network.
What is happening today, everybody? Welcome to Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner on 12 Ounce Sports. I am your host, Glenn Kaplan. We are live in Baltimore, Maryland, which is home of the Baltimore Orioles and the Baltimore Ravens. Who is excited for today's show here? And ladies and gentlemen, this is the 144th show today. And ladies and gentlemen, we are locked and loaded into today's show, and I hope you all are having a wonderful week. And at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time today, I will be having another guest. I will be having Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan Evan McHugh join the show. He'll share me his thoughts about the Super Bowl win and some other NBA topics. Close friend of mine, you do absolutely do not want to go anywhere, especially if your name is Michael Corvallis. You don't want to miss any of this. It's going to be a wonderful show today. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Use promo code 12Ounce Sports. All cash with deposit bonus up to $1,000 for MyBookie. And it's like a snow day outside today. And I'm surprised there's no I want to be Dirty Dan kind of scenes or shenanigans or whatever else. Speaking of Dirty Dan, there was some drinking involved yesterday at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers boat parade. Let's start with that, because I only wanted to watch the thing on NFL Network. Yeah, I could have probably just seen all the actions happen on Twitter. They surely did. But let's be true about this. Hey, there are a couple key takeaways from this parade that I saw. Key takeaway number one, and this is the key takeaway. I thought that Tom Brady was this unlikable guy who was stuck with Bill Belichick forever. He's like, Tom Brady, remember a couple of years ago where they went to where they were going to the Super Bowl against Los Angeles Rams, and Brady's like, we're still here. We're still here. That's why no one liked New England, because he was being all cocky and arrogant about it. Fast forward 2-3 years later, he gets out of Belichick's dark, evil, vicious cave. He brightens up more. He's more open-minded. And he looks drunk. And it looks like he's getting carted off the boat by the third-string quarterback, Ryan Griffin. And it looks like the movie Weekend at Bernie's. I don't know how many of you guys have watched the movie Weekend at Bernie's, but it's an absolute kick, and it's absolutely hilarious. We need a movie. Yeah, I know there's the championship movie, but we need a special movie just for that day alone. Weekend at Bernie's, starring Tom Brady, Ryan Griffin, Cameron Brate, I guess, because Tom Brady tossed it to Lombardi Trophy over to the other side of the boat. Oh, what an absolutely glorious day. And I couldn't enjoy that more championship parade more. Yeah, I'm not a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, I'm a New York Giants fan. I could not have enjoyed that, watching that thing. Rob Gronkowski just living his best life. Tom Brady is not this, he's not this cold-blooded guy anymore. He's not. Man, what if it was Bill Belichick? That was the dark, evil man after all. And the reason why Tom Brady, heart and soul of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers throughout the entire season, and let me just say this. This was good that Tom Brady was able to show his good side. And it was because why? Because of the way Bruce Arians' character is. So let's see what Bruce Arians had to say. He told Levante David and Chris Godwin, your bleeping behind ain't going nowhere. They simply want to keep it together. And General Manager Jason Licht deserves a ton of credit. And you never hear this at parades at all. He gave thanks to his scouting department. How many times do you ever hear that at a parade? Zero. None. Nada. Absolutely with grace and class, he did that with it. And I'm telling you, this was actually fun. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl is actually good. I'm telling you. Yeah, I know Tom Brady won his 7th ring, and no one likes to see that kind of greatness, I guess. But I guess people would rather see the drunk Tom Brady any day, every day, over the obnoxious and annoying, what people say is obnoxious and annoying, Patrick Mahomes' fiancée, Brittany, and his brother, Jackson. Guarantee you people will take the Tom Brady drunkenness 10 out of 10 over the other shenanigans by the Mahomes family. People would call that the Kardashians. Ouch. Eesh. Yikes. That's just what it's about. Brady was fun, but here's also another thing. And Colin Cowherd, I love his tweets, and I thought he was tweeting about Brady, something to the lines of Brady and Belichick. But there's something that I went through his Twitter, and I know his biggest pet peeve. I'm scrolling through the Twitter. It was either his Twitter or it was Tom Brady's Twitter. It was, Tom Brady's $2 million boat. Oh, he had his hat backwards, which I just happened to do. And it's big as Colin Cowherd's pet peeve, and I'm not going to do that for the rest of the show. That seems to be Colin Cowherd's #1 biggest pet peeve. Tom Brady being drunk, probably Colin Cowherd will give him a pass. Speaking of Colin Cowherd on Fox Sports 1, I don't know if you saw his Instagram page this week, but he had to deal with some scary scenes last week. Had a blood clot in his lung end. Hopefully get better, Colin. We're with you. We're praying for you to get better. We can't wait to see you back on TV again. So any other takeaways from this parade? Yes, one other thing. Was that Devin White was able to ride his horse with the Lombardi Trophy. That's the other thing I want to take away from this. Now let me move on to my next segment here. And there are two similar things that I want to compare this to. Alright. So I read this. I didn't know about this until after the Super Bowl. There are two similarities here I want to go over for you guys. For you hockey fans and for you NFL fans. Here's a comparison to similarities here. Pittsburgh Penguins 2008-2009 team compared to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2020-2021. Here's the similarities. On the eve of Game 7 in 2009, Pittsburgh Penguins owner Mario Lemieux sent a text message at 6:30 a.m. to all his players and said, "Don't play with fear. See you at center ice tonight." What happened that night? They won the Stanley Cup for the 3rd time in franchise history. Let's now fast forward 11 to 12 years later, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback, Tom Brady, texts his players every night at 11 p.m. during the week of the Super Bowl saying, "We are going to win the Super Bowl." What happened on Super Bowl night? Oh, they won Super Bowl LV in convincing fashion against the Kansas City Chiefs by a final score of 31-9. Translation, experience matters. Guys that have been there before matters. Confidence in your teammates and yourself matter. This was the perfect time for me to pull out this comparison. And you better believe that I'm 100% correct about this. When you have guys that have won it before, guys that have not been there before that have been young teams. That's another thing. That Pittsburgh team was young. Well, kinda. They had some older veterans. But this Tampa Bay team was ratherly young. The thing is, with Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay, is that they had role players that stepped up in the big moments. Translation, Max Talbot gave 7 2 goals. Translation, Rob Gronkowski, yeah, he's not the tight end he used to be, also scored 2 touchdowns. Very, very interesting. And no, I'm not making this stuff up. And I felt like this was the perfect time here to use it in this spot. That's what I think. I felt like I had to get it off my chest and whatever else. And I am telling you this. And now let me transition to my next segment. Speaking of the Pittsburgh Penguins, they hire Ron Extall to be the general manager and Brian Burke to be the president of hockey operations. So I was texting a Philadelphia Flyers fan that I'm very close with. He sent the message to me on Facebook Messenger the other day, said to me, the great hire by the Pittsburgh Penguins organization, your team, they will be back within contention in a retool rebuild mode, whatever how you want to put it, within the next 2 to 3 years. Oh, let's hope so. They don't have the draft capital right now. Heck, look at the Philadelphia Flyers roster. Look at it. You see that young talent they have? They're finally winning. But you got to figure out what you got to do with Claude Giroux, the captain. But now let me get back to the Pittsburgh Penguins here. They are not committed to Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, or Chris Letang past this season. It was mentioned on NHL Overtime on NBCSN last night with Liam McHugh and another guest. And let me just say this. If they are not committed past the 3 after the season will be interesting. Now, there were some discussions about Sidney Crosby potentially being traded, but let's not buy into the rumor, read the eyes. Evgeny Malkin and Chris Letang, for that matter, too. You might get a haul for them. If Crosby were to leave Pittsburgh, I know he wants to compete for Stanley Cups, but the thing is, Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane never left Chicago. I guess they want to get this thing done sooner rather than later, which was a big mistake on the part of Stan Bowman, the general manager of the Chicago Blackhawks, who basically left Toews and Kane in the dust. But at least the Pittsburgh Penguins organization is smart enough to realize they're not going to leave their star players in the dust. At least they're going to communicate with them properly and realize that they have to go into rebuild potentially sooner rather than later. And another interesting thing is that in the current front office, they tried not once, but twice to get Marc-Andre Fleury back. Jim Rutherford and Patrick Alvin, they need their goaltending. But they couldn't get it. They don't want to part with Marc-Andre Fleury in case Robin Leonard goes down. I understand all that. But at the same time, Pittsburgh needs to replenish the farm. You trade away so many first-round picks. You don't have your first-round pick this year, and it will be dangerous, especially if you miss the playoffs, because general manager Minnesota Wild Billy Guerin will be getting that pick. He will be. And that's not good if you're the Pittsburgh Penguins at all, because it's going to set them even further back. You need the most draft capital you can. And current management said, that they're going for it all this year. They're going to keep the core as is for this year. They're going to let it ride it out, which is the smart thing to do. And then we'll see where it goes from there. That will be the most interesting thing that happens. And personally, they need to stockpile draft picks. They have nothing. I'm going to tell you this. Had Jim Rutherford stayed, there would have been more draft capital mess This could be a blessing in disguise in the long run for Pittsburgh. You got your 3 Stanley Cup titles. You're probably maybe just going to fall short again. Maybe it's time to move on, but would maybe Sidney Crosby go home and go play for Montreal, his childhood team? He's from Nova Scotia. That would be something interesting. Or not. Well, I don't know why I was thinking, I don't think he wants to go to a rebuilding team. Or you could put Sidney Crosby, or Genny Malkin for that matter, with the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid. Ooh. That put the league on notice with Draisaitl, Crosby, and McDavid. Want to talk about mercy, mercy, mercy. Lord, please have mercy. Something to that extent. And it's like, oh gosh. I shouldn't have said that in there, but it's like, oh boy. Nothing to that extent. I didn't say something like that, but I meant to the guards of mercy. What are we doing here? That would just be board overload. So what's important here is Brian Burke won the Stanley Cup with the Anaheim Ducks front office in 2006-2007. Burke always mentioned how close he was getting to Sidney Crosby. In the 2005 NHL lottery draft, he won the Stanley Cup with the Anaheim Ducks in 2006-2007. Ron Hextall won 2 Stanley Cups in 2012-2014 with the Los Angeles Kings front office. And it was also known as Philadelphia Flyers West. Brian Burke was on TSN and Sportsnet Daily. Elliot Friedman, the NHL Network, and at Sportsnet truly believes the model the Pittsburgh Penguins are using now is going to be the model in the immediate future in the NHL front offices. As I said, Pittsburgh is not committed to acquire Chris Letang, Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin this past season. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up and stay tuned for more. Speaking of buckling up and stay tuned, time for NFL free agents predictions. But before I can get into that, use promo code 12OutSports, all caps with deposit bonus up to $1,000 for my bookie. We are live this first of 3 I'll say today. Thank you, JB Beck. Thank you, Cody Jensen. Thank you, Tyler Valdez. Thank you, Philly Pete. Thank you, Michael Cavales, and Lou Gamlin, everybody else who contributes time in and time again to make this radio network and this radio station absolutely wonderful. We are growing with viewers, followers, and listeners, and I'm going to tell you this. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow at 4 o'clock is the week in review with the janitor. So followers and listeners and viewers of my show, tune into a show tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Also, call into a show and give them Ravik. I'm just telling you that. I always call in the show. It's a special treat every week. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll have to give you a special prize if you do call into the show. Just give me a text message or whatever. Or tweet to me on Twitter or Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram or whatever. And just call the show. Simply, you do not want to miss out on Colin Beck. You can trust me on that one. Now let's get into my NFL free agency forecast. Okay. With the NFL offseason officially underway, it is time to see which top free agents are going to land where next season. This will shake up the entire integrity of the NFL moving forward. Quarterback. Let's start with the quarterbacks. Dak Prescott. I said he's going to stay with the Dallas Cowboys. But he followed the Washington football team, and then he unfollowed them on Instagram. Keep an eye out on that one. Jacoby Brissett will stay with the Indianapolis Colts as a backup. They'll trade for Carson Wentz or make Jacob Eason the starter. Remains to be seen here potentially. Next up, who else? Mitchell Trubisky, I think, will become a Denver Bronco and back up Drew Lock. And I said Ryan Fitzpatrick will sign with the Washington football team, but New England Patriots is a possibility too. Running backs, Kenyon Drake, Arizona Cardinals. I think he stays with them. Todd Gurley II, I think he retires from the NFL. And retirement from the league, we'll see here. Mark Ingram II, he will go to the Atlanta Falcons. And James White will go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and leave the New England Patriots. Wide receivers. AJ Green goes to the New England Patriots on a cheap deal. I know he's not the same AJ Green he once was, but he's a monster upgrade compared to what they had with the Patriots last season. And you know they're going to be making moves. Allen Robinson II will lead the Chicago Bears and sign with the Baltimore Ravens to get Lamar Jackson that #1 receiving option that he truly desperately needs. Sammy Watkins will stay with the Kansas City Chiefs. Corey Davis will sign with the Green Bay Packers and become the #2 receiver for Aaron Rodgers and also Devontae Adams. Will Fuller V will sign a contract with the Tennessee Titans. Will be the second receiver, and I think he's actually an upgrade over Corey Davis, and pair Fuller V up with A.J. Brown. Juju Smith-Schuster signs with the New York Jets and reunites with Sam Darnold, USC teammates. Chris Godwin will either stay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or sign with the Indianapolis Colts and get #1 money. And I know Mike Evans is trying to keep the band together and use some of his money. And Kenny Golladay will sign with the New York Giants and leave the Detroit Lions. Tight ends. Hunter Henry signs with the Dallas Cowboys. I know they like Blake Jarwin, but get a tight end for Dallas. He's from Little Rock, Arkansas, played close to home. And let me tell you the next one that I'm going to do here. Rob Gronkowski stays with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jared Cook, Philadelphia Eagles, leaves the New Orleans Saints. And Michael Pruitt is going to stay and re-sign with the Tennessee Titans. So, now up on my agenda here is the offensive line. I know it's not the entirely sexy and all those other picks, but you cannot win championships without offensive line. Look at what happened to the Kansas City Chiefs. They basically depleted. Offensive line, Brandon Shreve stays with the Washington football team. Joe Thuney leaves New England, signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Trent Williams goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. Alex Mack goes to the Baltimore Ravens and leaves the Atlanta Falcons. Corey Linsley stays with the Green Bay Packers. And Jason Peters retires. He goes to retirement. Defensive line, Leonard Williams re-signs with the New York Giants. Jadeveon Clowney re-signs with the Tennessee Titans. Yannick Ngakoue re-signs with the Baltimore Ravens. Ryan Kerrigan leaves the Washington football team and signs with the Tennessee Titans. Sheldon Rankins leaves the New Orleans Saints and goes to the Detroit Lions. Now, I know that's an interesting one because, hey, Dan Campbell. I just felt Detroit, and I wasn't thinking the Dan Campbell factor until just now. And then, who else do we have here? And Derek Wolfe leaves the Baltimore Ravens, goes back to the Denver Broncos. Linebackers, Matt Judon stays with the Baltimore Ravens. Melvin Ingram stays with the Los Angeles Chargers. Bud Dupree stays with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They know how much they needed him. Oh boy, was that defense lost without him. Yeah, I know TJ Washington won Defensive Player of the Year, but the crumbling of the defense really started when Bud Dupree left the Pittsburgh Steelers for the season. Shaquille Barrett stays with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Olivier Vernon goes back to the Miami Dolphins. Levante David, yeah, I know Bruce Arians said he ain't going anywhere, but he's from Miami, and I think he's going to go sign with the Miami Dolphins. Leonard Floyd leaves Los Angeles Rams, goes to the Buffalo Bills. Hassan Riddick's going to lead the Arizona Cardinals and go back to the Temple University area and sign with the Philadelphia Eagles. And Damian Wilson signs with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, what about the secondary? Quarterback Patrick Peterson signs with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Reunites with Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles, head coach and defense coordinator. Justin Simmons, Denver Broncos, re-signs with them. Richard Sherman on a cheap contract to the New York Giants. Jaquiski Tartt, San Francisco 49ers, and Josh Norman stays with the Buffalo Bills. Next up, Taylor Heineke resigns with the Washington football team. Quarterback Taylor Heineke resigned a 2-year contract deal worth $8.5 million with the Washington football team. He could very well be the starter next season over Alex Smith. Washington did lose to the eventual Super Bowl LV champions in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll see what happens next with general manager Jason Wright, head coach Ryan Rivera, and owner Daniel Snyder here as well. And Stephen A. Smith was mentioning on First Take this morning how he thinks that Prescott would be treated well by Snyder. Yeah, I know Snyder has a bad reputation as an owner, but he actually does know. Stephen A. Smith's right about this. He did treat RG3 and Dwayne Haskins actually pretty well. The thing with Haskins was all Ron Rivera, was not Daniel Snyder at all. Yeah, I still think Snyder should sell the team. Hopefully they get a team name next year, not really keep it as the Washington football team. Yikes. But the future of that remains to be seen. In that game against Super Bowl champions, yeah, he'd probably be a backup, but he could also start, and hey, I can maybe grow off this. Chase Young is an absolute beast. And let me just say this, he supported Taylor Heineke. They just need some more offensive weapons and maybe get some help either in the secondary or containment, run stoppers at the linebacker position. Next up, and now this is an interesting one with the offseason. And I was watching this on NFL Network yesterday, some other things. Marcus Mariota, the backup quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, he did have that one very good game against the Miami Dolphins. Maybe it's just that he needed to change the scenery for the Tennessee Titans, and he got full support from his ex and former Tennessee Titans teammates. But we will see what the future holds here for all of these players, especially Marcus Mariota and Derek Carr. And they did re-sign Nathan Peterman to a 1-year deal for a reason. Maybe they know that he's getting either Mariota or Carr gets traded. And Derek Carr's brother, mentioned the fact how the Raiders have called. Teams have called the Raiders about Derek Carr. And that there was one particular team that called him twice and told basically General Manager Mike Mayock basically hung up the phone. But would they hang up the phone if it was they called the Houston Texans Deshaun Watson? Now I know Colin Cowherd at Fox Sports 1 had some crazy trade scenario. Deshaun Watson for Derek Carr, Darren Waller, and 4 first-round draft picks would basically set the franchise back because actually they're pretty good on offense. They just need help on defense. The problem with the Raiders is, actually, I think the problem with the Raiders is, yeah, I know the defense isn't very good. John Gruden's actually the problem. Had it been anyone else other than John Gruden, they would have been fired as the Raiders coach. But because this is a political thing with the Raiders and the Raiders ties, they're really not going to fire him. I know this is the 4th year, going into his 4th year and the 10th year of his deal, which is a mistake. You know what this reminds me of? The Denver Broncos basically refusing John Elway to fire him, and they're like, hey, we don't want to really fire you or anything. Let's just take a step back. Just take a step back. I mean, that's what my dad basically said. We talked about this. And, it's very interesting with Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota, and they're saying Marcus Mariota to the Patriots, maybe. But if you're Bill Belichick, you don't know Mariota's going to be a slam dunk. I mean, you have no receivers. Mariota had better receivers in Vegas than he did with New England. Do you really? But if you do sign AJ Green, okay, you got a primary number 1. Yeah, he's not the same receiver that he once was, but okay. It's going to be very interesting. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Mariota and Carr. And the truth be told, Derek Carr is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. He was an MVP candidate until he got hurt the 1 year. They were going to maybe go to the Super Bowl. That's how good they were. And you think I'm joking. And he's RB so of the Las Vegas Raiders. But the one thing about Derek Carr and his illustrious career, he's always done things with grace and class. Derek Carr and the Raiders would make a mistake if they moved off each other. That's just how I feel. Derek Carr is in a better situation in Las Vegas now than he would be with the Houston Texans and New England Patriots. On to my next segment here. Here are my top 10 NFL teams to end the season. Here we go. Number 10, the Indianapolis Colts. And they could have been in the Buffalo Bills. Keep an eye on them next year. And I'll get to my top 10 way too early NFL teams in just a minute after this. Number 9, the Tennessee Titans. I couldn't believe their offense actually hit a wall against the Baltimore Ravens in the wild-card round. But Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and A.J. Brown are back next year to core. And you got the offense now, you got to figure out the defense. You got Taylor Lewan coming back to the offensive line. Number 8, the Los Angeles Rams. Jared Goff actually did pretty well with a broken thumb. And that defense was ferocious, led by Aaron Donald. Number 7, the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, that game would have been a different story had Patrick Mahomes not gotten hurt. But hey, the Cleveland Browns are here to show we're for real. Number 6, the Baltimore Ravens. They only held offensively, they held the Buffalo Bills to 10 points. And that pick 6 against Buffalo in the divisional round by Taron Johnson was the absolutely backbreaker. Number 5, the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees is probably going to retire at the end of the year. They also have Jameis Winston. He's probably going to be the quarterback of the now and the future. Number 4, the Green Bay Packers. They should have been the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Aaron Rodgers, yeah, I know you want to blame Aaron Rodgers here. He is the quarterback. But they got to get a number 2 receiver for him. They got to treat him better this year. There was speculation if they were going to trade him. And they're actually, the Los Angeles Rams actually tried calling about Aaron Rodgers. But Green Bay's like, no thank you. We are not trading our best quarterback. And yeah, and head coach Matt LaFleur is probably happy about that. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills, led by Josh Allen. He's going to be the bright star, maybe potentially the favorites in the AFC next year. They got to fix up their defense a little bit. Number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. Their offensive line got completely obliterated in the Super Bowl. And number 1, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Devin White on the defensive side of the ball. And you never see Tom Brady, the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, be so personal before. Well, not personal, but shows personality. He's like, defense wins championships. He's not taking any credit. It's just like, it's simply like, this guy's a different guy. I said it. I'm probably just going to do whatever. And speaking of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in 12 minutes from now, Evan McHugh, Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, NBA fan, will be joining the show. Call me live. Close friend of mine will be talking about the Super Bowl win and about some NBA talk. And if Michael Gravales is listening to the show right now, you do not want to go anywhere. You're going to be in for a special treat. All right. So, just to repeat, on the top 10 NFL teams at the end of the season, number 10, Indianapolis Colts, Number 9, the Tennessee Titans. Number 8, the Los Angeles Rams. Number 7, the Cleveland Browns. Number 6, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 5, the New Orleans Saints. Number 4, the Green Bay Packers. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills. Number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. And number 1, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now let's go with my way too early NFL top 10 teams for the 2021 season. So number 10, I have the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're going to make some moves to get better. Number 9, the Green Bay Packers. And Rodgers and them will be back. Number 8, the Baltimore Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson. Number 7, the Tennessee Titans, led by Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown, and Derrick Henry. They got to upgrade the defense by Mike Vrabel. You make Shane Bowers the new DC. And the quarterback's coach becomes the new OC. Arthur Smith takes the head coach's job with the Atlanta Falcons. And he somehow got Dean Pease to be their DC. I don't know how. Came out of retirement. Number 6, San Francisco 49ers. They're going to be back and healthy next year. Don't be fooled with them going 6-10, 7-9 this year. Kyle Shanahan led offense. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Raheem Mostert, Jeffrey Wilson. Yeah, I know you lose Robert Saleh DC, but they're going to be better than ever next year, the San Francisco 49ers. Number 5, the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. They're going to probably trade either Odell Beckham Jr. Austin Hooper. Sure at the back end on the defense. Number 4, the Los Angeles Rams. You already acquired Matthew Stafford, quarterback for the Detroit Lions, and they're already anointed them potentially as NFC champions next year. Oh, and the Super Bowl's also in Los Angeles, LVI, at SoFi Stadium. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen. Number 2, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Tom Brady. They'll probably lose some pieces. And number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what I think the case is going to be moving forward next season. So, and here's my way too early Super Bowl LIV matchup for next season. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Buffalo Bills. That's what I have for right now, but stay tuned. An NFL mock draft, first round of it completely finished. Number 31 to the Kansas City Chiefs, Wyatt Davis, offensive lineman, Ohio State. And number 32, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Nick Bolton, linebacker, Missouri. And I know Russell Wilson destinations get traded from Seattle. I said Carolina Panthers, the Denver Broncos, Washington football team. He also could go to the New York Giants, the New York Jets, and the Indianapolis Colts. That's what I think with Russell Wilson. I know there's stuff going on between him, head coach Pete Carroll, and general manager John Schneider. I know there's stuff going on with those guys. Trust me on that one. But, he already said, he said on Dan Patrick's show that the Seahawks have been taking calls on him. I don't know where he's going to go. I think he's going to land in Carolina if he gets traded. I know they're trying to get a quarterback. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, DJ Moore. And you have all those other cats here. They're actually all pretty good. So moving on from this, very quickly, Atlanta Hawks versus the Dallas Mavericks from last night. In the 118-117 win for the Dallas Mavericks over the Atlanta Hawks. And I know Trae Young was looking for a foul call late in the game. But I'm going to tell you this. It happens all the time in the NBA. And no one really cares what happens because if the refs don't call it, well, too bad. But the story, once again, is the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic scoring 28 points, shooting 50% from the field, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 blocks, and 1 steal. Jalen Brunson, a complete baller off the bench. 21 points, 50% shooting from the field, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Tim Hardaway Jr., 16 points, 60% shooting from the field, and 1 rebound. John Collins, a very underrated power forward, 33 points, 72.2% shooting from the field, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, and 1 steal. Trae Young, 25 points, 36.4% shooting from the field, 7 rebounds, 15 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal. Kevin Huerter, he's actually getting better and better. 23 points, 60% shooting from the field, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal. And I know DeAndre Hunter's hurt. He's probably going to miss some time for Dallas, not for Dallas, Atlanta. And lastly but not least, Kristaps Porzingis. I know he's getting back into game shape, but we will see where it goes here. Now on to very quickly the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers from last night in the 3-2 win for the Boston Bruins over the New York Rangers. So what happens here? 36 seconds in the overtime session on a fast break. Brad Marchand scores a backhanded goal on Alexander Georgiev. Not a surprise. He always scoring clutch goals when it matters the most. And his goal was assisted by Charlie McAvoy and Patrice Bergeron. What else is new here with the Boston Bruins? And I still believe it's that top line. But the truth of the matter is that Boston is they're getting help now from their depth players, and they are constructed very well from a defensive structure standpoint by head coach Bruce Cassidy. And no one talks about how good of a coach he is. And on the other side of things, New York Rangers, David Quinn's probably going to be fired at the end of the season. So first period goals. New York Rangers, Julian Gothard, 13:50 mark, assisted by Brendan Lemieux. Second period goals, Boston Bruins, shorthanded goal by Chris Wagner at the 9:41 mark unassisted. Third period goals, Boston, Anders Bork at the 9-minute mark, assisted by Jake DeBrusk and Kevin Miller. And New York Rangers tied the game at 2 at the 11:22 mark. In the third period by Kevin Rooney, it was assisted by Brendan Lemieux and Ryan Lindgren and Tuukka Rask. 33 saves for the Boston Bruins. He was outstanding. And I don't know if you remember, he actually tried going to the back of the net, not back of the net, but off the ice. And head coach Bruce Cassidy, Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand, and Charlie McAvoy. And Dave Pastrnak like, go back to your net. I guess he was thought they were down 2-1 instead of game being he thought they were down 2-1 instead of the game being tied at 2, I guess. And nothing happened to them, thank goodness. I'll say it again. Tuukka Rask, 33 saves for Boston. Alexander Georgiev, 29 saves for the New York Rangers. And lastly but not least, here we go. NBA top 10 teams. Number 10, the Portland Trail Blazers. Number 9, the Indiana Pacers. Number 8, the Phoenix Suns. Number 7, the Boston Celtics. Number 6, the Brooklyn Nets. Number 5, the Milwaukee Bucks. Number 4, the Los Angeles Clippers. Number 3, the Los Angeles Lakers. Number 2, the Philadelphia 76ers. And number 1, the Utah Jazz. So in case you missed it, just now, number 10, Portland Trail Blazers because of Damian Lillard. Number 9, the Indiana Pacers because of Domantas Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon. Number 8, the Phoenix Suns because of Chris Paul and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. Number 7, the Boston Celtics because of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Number 6, the Brooklyn Nets because of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. Number 5, the Milwaukee Bucks because of Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Dante DiVincenzo. And Brook Lopez. Number 4. Also, don't forget about head coach Mike Budenholzer. Number 4, the Los Angeles Clippers because Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and head coach Tyronn Lue. Number 3, the Los Angeles Lakers solely because of LeBron James, Anthony Davis. And LeBron's been carrying that team without Anthony Davis. LeBron James is probably going to win the MVP this year, and Anthony Davis needs to get back soon for them because their bench is not really good. Taylor Horton Tucker's their bench player. Number 2, Philadelphia 76ers because of the starting lineup of Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, and Danny Green. And number 1, the Utah Jazz because of a head coach by Quinn Snyder. He's probably made one coach of the year over Doc Rivers, Philadelphia 76ers. You also have Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, Utah Jazz, along with Jordan Clarkson and Joe Ingles. So in just about 2 minutes, my next special guest will be Evan McHugh. This will be the 6th guest I will have on the show in the last 3 weeks. He's a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. I've known him since my high school days. I figured to get him on the show this week and how he feels about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl for the first time since 2002. Don't worry, I actually remember just a few years ago for the holidays, I actually bought a winter hat for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, also Mike Evans shirt jersey. I wonder if he'll tell me he has that on the air or not. He actually sent me a picture of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hat after the NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers on Snapchat. I happened to screenshot and saved it on my phone. And on Monday, I am at the Baskets on the show, and I'm hoping this upcoming Monday I have former Wyoming Valley West High School football coach Pat Keating on the show. On Monday, that's where I also used to live here. And he's probably just about to call me in any minute now. And I'm just like... So I had 4 guys from the 12-Ounce Sports Network. This will be the second guy out of the 12-Ounce Sports Network here. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, the more guests you bring on the show, the better it is. So I'm just like, just sitting here, and I'm just enjoying basically a lot of things that I do for this stuff. Good morning, Evan. I'm glad you took time of your day to come on my show today.
Morning, Glenn. It's an honor to be on.
Could you speak up?
Long time coming.
Evan, could you speak up, please?
Can you hear me now, Glenn?
Yeah. Yeah, I could hear you.
Morning.
Oh, that's my
Honor
fault. I
finally
got
being
the
on.
volume. You're good now. That's my fault with the volume. So, Evan, what was your... I know that you guys won the Super Bowl. What was your feelings about all that when they won the Super Bowl?
Man, feeling pretty good, Glenn. I'm not gonna lie to you. It honestly it took me back to 2003 when the Bucs beat the Raiders. I felt like the same kind of game flow, if you know what I mean. All defense, right? Turnovers, relentless pressure. It just felt good. It kind of, I kind of thought that might be how it went when I saw Eric Fisher go down in the AFC title game. The Bucs kind of, figured things out towards the end of the year, playing their best football at the right time. Typical Brady, game managing, not making any mistakes. I don't know. It was great to watch. I kind of wish it was a little bit closer for the neutral fans out there, but for me, I loved every second of that.
So when you guys signed Tom Brady in the offseason, did you think this was going to happen the first year, or did you think it was going to take some time?
To be honest with you, Glenn, I didn't think it was ever going to happen. I was in the camp of the Tom Brady doubters. I thought he might have been a little washed up. And I've been watching the Bucs for so many years, and it was just really hard to convince myself that they had it in them to make a run like that. I've been watching them lose since 2003, so it was hard to accept it. But once they got in the playoffs, even after that win against the football team, I kind of had my doubts because that was an ugly win, and I don't know. After they beat Rodgers, though, everything felt a little different. Once they beat Rodgers, I kind of felt like they proved that they were going to be a force and a problem for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Well, I don't know how much of that Super Bowl parade you watched yesterday, and I said this on the beginning of the show. I'm like, Tom Brady's actually likable. Him being drunk's like, is this basically a middle finger to Bill Belichick's like, I'm showing my personality now, you can't show your personality without me? What do you say about that? Bruce Arians allows him to show himself.
That's a good observation, Glenn. I kind of get the same feeling from that. I don't know, this whole year it kind of just seemed like Brady had his middle fingers up to everybody. He really just seems more comfortable. He seems like he has more control in Tampa Bay. And I'm not saying anything against Belichick, obviously. He's probably the best coach of all time. But I feel like players in New England sometimes get stuck in that system, and towards the end of their careers, it seems like they have some ugly feelings. And like you said, he's just finally showing himself, and he is becoming more likable. I know you had Matt on the other day. He might not agree with me, but I don't know. It just seems like he's having more fun, and I think that it's an underrated aspect of the NFL. I mean, everybody seemed like they were having fun this year for them, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of those guys take pay cuts and try to come back next year and try to do it all over again. Just seems like a fun place to play.
Now, it's funny you say it's a fun place to play, Evan, because I know a couple of people that actually live down in Tampa Bay, and I just keep thinking to myself one day, I said, me and a few people, maybe we'll just drive down. I wouldn't fly down. I don't know how I would get down there, but the thing is, Party Town, USA, Tampa Bay, Champa Bay, whatever you want to say it is. Just sounds like it's a good time.
Tampa Bay, man. And now the Toronto Raptors are playing down there, is that right?
Yeah, they're actually playing better.
So, I mean, look out for the Raptors. They're playing in Tampa Bay, too. There's something in the air down there.
Yeah, I'll get to the NBA with you in a minute. But let me ask you about Rob Gronkowski, though. The thing about Rob Gronkowski is, remember when he retired, like, I can't enjoy football anymore. It feels like I could enjoy it. And now he wins the Super Bowl, and he can't wait to come back next year. That's another indictment on Belichick. I mean, that's what
right?
it seems like. And another thing
Another
is, doesn't it feel like watching Brady get drunk yesterday feel like to you the movie Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah, no, it does. And in regards to Gronk, yeah, I think he was just worn out in New England, and he took when he played there, he was like Travis Kelce, like he had so many targets, and he was taking such a beating, and he was relied on so heavily, especially towards the end of his career. And I mean, when you start watching him in his later days in New England, he did not look healthy at all. And so he takes a year off and gets healthy, loses a lot of weight. And I've heard interviews now that have come out of Gronk saying, I kind of was just waiting to see where Brady was going to go. Right? He admitted it. He said, I was waiting to see where Tom was going to go, and I trusted that he's going to figure it out. So, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see more guys take that model and just take a year off as they get older and get healthier and come back and it almost seemed like they saved him too for most of the year. And then in the Super Bowl, they kind of, he just looked like his old self again, and it was great to see.
So you say that Ron Gronkowski knew about what Tom Brady was gonna do. Did he simply knew when he retired that Tom Brady told him beforehand, hey, I'm out of New England after this year, no matter what?
I wouldn't doubt it. And I'm sure he said something like, this is speculation, but it's hard to imagine he didn't say something like, hey, keep in touch, look out, I might be making a move here, and stay healthy, stay in shape, and let's be in touch, because those guys, those guys are probably the best combination I think I've seen. You know what I mean? Quarterback to receiver, quarterback tight end, whatever you want to say. And they have something special.
So let me tie this two questions into one. So I don't know if you saw the NFL memes yesterday, and I know our close friend Michael Bauer will not appreciate this because he's a Dallas Cowboys fan, but the meme was, if you want to see Tom Brady get stopped from going to the Super Bowl, have him just sign with the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
and second...
Man, that's brutal.
I know.
Don't let Mike hear that.
What's up?
Don't let Mike hear that.
Yeah, he'll probably listen to the show later, and he's probably gonna get on me.
I'll
have to let him come on the show. Secondly, the other question was, what did you think about Devin White having ride his horse? And now I want to turn on that song, Old Town Road, baby. Used to be, the old, Evan, we talk about the old Green Turtle days. You love it. Should have never changed that name from that to the Backyard Uptown. What a disgrace. What do you say about that?
Well, Devin White really took over that game on defense, and if I was a linebacker in the NFL, I'd be thanking Devin White, because I think he's proving to the NFL and front offices how valuable it is to have a versatile linebacker. And also Levante David. You didn't see much of him, but that's because he was spending most of the night in the secondary, all over Travis Kelce. Even though Kelce had 133 yards, they did not let up a single big play. And that's the only way you can beat the Chiefs. And he was all over Kelce all game. And I saw a stat that he had the highest rated coverage for a linebacker in like 10 years or something like that Sunday night. And, linebackers are just an underrated position right now. And not enough teams have versatile linebackers that can cover. And Levante David, I heard you say with Matt, you guys were surprised he didn't win MVP. And to be honest, if he won MVP, I would have been happy, because I think he probably deserved it. As far as the Green Turtle goes, it's a shame, man. They changed names, and so that's a tough one.
You know what they say, Evan? They say the legends never die. There, they had old photos of like Dallas lacrosse players and football players and all that stuff. And I told people, I said, one of these days they'll put my picture and I'll put it on the Wall of Fame somewhere. All right, on a serious note, I'll ask you one or two questions about the NBA quickly because I got to get going in a minute. So, do you think the Philadelphia Sixers and the Utah Jazz are the top two teams in the NBA?
I would say the Sixers right now are probably the best team in the East. I mean, I watch them every night with my roommate Nate. They look like a completely different team than they did in years past. Embiid looks like an MVP candidate. He's playing the best basketball of his career. Tobias Harris having one of the best years of his career. And Ben Simmons, I mean, everyone rips on him for not being able to shoot, but he's doing his job. Comes out, has 12, 8, and 8 a night. Plays great defense. I think they're probably one shooter away from being an even more serious contender. As far as the Jazz, I'm gonna have to go with the Lakers in the West. Still, I've been watching a lot of them. They're playing great defense, the number one rated defense in the NBA. AD is still. I read some reports that AD is claiming he's still out of shape from the bubble and still feeling side effects from that. So I'm confident in AD's ability to get back to his level of play. And honestly, I think the Lakers are still the favorite. LeBron's, probably favorite to win the MVP right now. And I'm just happy that this younger generation is able to see LeBron and Tom Brady still out there, at the top of their respective sports. Like, I'm happy my little brother Jack is able to see these guys, and I don't have to be the old man yelling at him talking about who's the GOAT when he's my age, So it's pretty cool to see. But Lakers, Sixers, yeah, that's my 1 and 2.
At least we don't have to be yelling to your little brother about it on a hot summer day in your backyard. I mean, going off your slide.
yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
And Doc Rivers, probably him or Quinn Snyder, the coach of the year. But I'm out of time, unfortunately. I'll have to text you that later. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming on the show.
Sure, man. It was great being on. Great talking to you.
All right, bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got some laughter in that interview. And once again, I always like ending my show with those interviews. And ladies and gentlemen, we are actually out of time here. Thanks for tuning in Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend as well here. I'll be back on the air at the same time Monday for some NFL offseason updates, NHL NBA game recaps. I'll be having former Wyoming Valley West head coach Pat Keating on the show as a special guest. And lastly but not least, use promo code 12ouncesports, all caps, for deposit bonus up to $1,000 for MyBookie.
Are you ready for the King of the Ice? Pete's Power Plays with Philly Pete starts now on 12 Ounce Sports.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Thursday, February 11th, 2021 episode of Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only King of the Ice himself. That's me, Philly Pete, and we're live on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 761. Hope everyone is having a phenomenal Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, wherever you may be around the world. Thank you for taking time out of your day and hanging out with yours truly, Philly Pete. This show, Pete's Power Plays, is sponsored by MyBookie.ag. Sports are back, ladies and gents out there. We all know that. Hockey's in full gear. We got college basketball. We got March Madness right around the corner. Baseball's right around the corner. So what better way to start cashing out large than going to MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code 12ouncesports. You can see the promo code right underneath the video banner here of my show. Type that in. They'll match your first deposit up to $1,000 as well. So once again, mybookie.ag. Use the promo code 12ounce sports. That's 12OZ sports. Simple as that. They'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. And always remember to gamble responsibly. Also, Zingo TV, channel 761. That is Z-I-N-G-O, Zingo TV. Those that don't have Zingo TV, I highly recommend you download it. It is a free app. You know, everyone loves free stuff nowadays. So download the app. It's free. It's on every streaming device out there. Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick, Google, Chromecast, and Apple TV. Simple as that. Download it. It's free. Use the promo code 12ounce, 12OZ, and from there, flip to channel 761, where you will be hearing today's episode of course, Pete's Power Plays. And ladies and gentlemen out there that are tuning in to channel 761, welcome aboard here. And last but not least, Amazon.com. We have a website from 12 Ounce Sports, so just check us out. When you want to buy something from Amazon, go to www.12ouncesportsradio.com/Amazon. Once again, www.12ouncesportsradio.com/Amazon. So we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We had a 2-game menu last night. Nothing crazy. There was no plays for the Kleins. They had the night off. But I did give out 2 plays on my Twitter and a couple of other plays on my show yesterday. So we had Boston on the money line. That was a winner. Boston -1. That was a push. And the under 5.5. That was a winner. I was all over the unders last night in those 2 games. Both cashed out. So once again, Boston on the money line. That won. Boston -1. That was a push. The Boston -1 was also a Twitter play. And the under 5.5, which cashed out as well. Montreal and Toronto, well, unfortunately, Montreal on the money line, that was a loser. And the under 6.5 won. So again, those that tailed my show plays yesterday with the unders, congratulations. You know I'm not an under guy at all. But for these 2 games, I saw a spot where, you know what, we're not going to see that many goals. Well, Montreal and Toronto, it was close to getting that over, but we barely squeaked out that under. So again, both unders cashed out. Everyone that tailed those plays, congratulations on your winning night. And then, of course, the Boston-Montreal moneyline parlay at +215. Of course, that was a show play. That did not cash out either. So, all in all, a decent night overall. Those that did play those unders, that was the big night winner. And the Boston moneyline, barely. So, there you have it. On the show, I had, on my Twitter, I had Canadiens moneyline at -105. That lost. Bruins -1 was a push. So, 0-1-1 overall with a -1.05 unit evening. Overall, right now, my NHL season sits at 116 wins, 94 losses, and 8 pushes with a +21.53 unit season so far. We're still killing it. We're still up over 20 units. We're rocking and rolling this season as we should. A different year for everybody. You know, this is a tough capping season. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, everybody could vouch for that. You know, a lot of people that I've been seeing that I talk to on Twitter and that are hockey cappers themselves saying this has been one of the toughest capping season so far, and it has been easily. It easily is. You have a 56-game schedule. You play back-to-back games. You play teams 4 times. You know, I mean, in a row. I mean, it's insane. It really is. But this is why you just gotta keep on with what you're doing. And like I keep saying, on and on again. You know, when you're on a hot streak, you eventually come to cold. When you're cold, you turn to a hot streak. You know, this is how this season has been. It's been streaky. It's been back and forth. So, but there you have it. And, you know, before I get into tonight's slate, we have 4 games in postponement. We have the Capitals and the Buffalo Sabres. That game is postponed. New Jersey and Philly postponed. St. Louis and Minnesota postponed. And Arizona and Colorado postponed as well. So 4 games that are postponed this evening, of course, per COVID protocols. So, but hey, we still have a massive card tonight, and we can't complain whatsoever. Also, those that are interested in representing yours truly, Philly Pete, I have a merchandise website from 12 Ounce Sports. So it's pinned on my timeline. So if you go to my Twitter, those that don't follow me at the real Pete Tooch. If you look up Philly Pete, I'm one of the first guys there. You can't miss me. Of course, I have the Pete's Power Plays logo rocking out, and I have my merch is up now. It's ready to rock. It's been up for about 2 months now, and it's been a hot commodity. A lot of people have been buying sweatshirts and T-shirts and long sleeve shirts. So I mean, get yours today. All right, doesn't go unnoticed. And I appreciate all of you. And again, thank you for the continuous support that you've given me throughout the past 3 years of me doing NHL capping. Simple as that. And also, if you want to be a client as well, I had a few of you sign up again this morning. So if you want to, go ahead, send me a DM, follow me, send me a DM. I'm doing season-long packages. I'm doing monthly packages and weekly packages as well. So again, clients are over 3 units as we speak. They're kicking ass right now. They're having a good time. And those that signed up this morning, I will get to you after today's show. And again, I'm running a deal. I'm running a big-time deal, $100 off discount for the rest of the entire NHL season. Okay, $100 off for the month of February. This is for season-long packages only. Now, I will negotiate monthly and weekly if need be, but this discount is strictly for the season-long package, $100 off for the rest of the season if you sign up from now till the end of February. And you know what? I'm going to do it for the month of March too, because that's how much we've been rocking and rolling this season so far, and a truly difficult capping season. But you can actually tack that on. $100 off for the month of February if you sign up, of course. And you know what? If you don't get a chance to sign up in February, I want to do it again for the month of March. I want to do $125 off discount for the entire rest of the season. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't get much better than that. So again, sign up today with Philly Pete. I won't let you down. Again, my clients are up over 3 units. We're kicking ass. And as you can see on my Twitter, we're also been rocking and rolling up over 20 units as well. So again, when you want to sign up with the best, I am one of the best out there on Twitter, the king of the ice himself. So let's get into tonight's action. So Pittsburgh and the New York Islanders, over-under set at 5.5. Islanders minus 105 on the money line. Pittsburgh minus 115 on the money line. 65% of the money going towards the New York Islanders at that minus 105 spot. This is a toss-up game back and forth. And Islanders did open up at minus 115. Islanders are now minus 105. Therefore, some money has been going to the Pittsburgh way. That's why they are the slight favorite tonight. And at 35%, the money is going to Pittsburgh. So this is a confusing line for me. More money is heading towards Islanders, like I said, at 65%. But during the course of the overnight movement, it's been going towards Pittsburgh's way now. So I believe the Smith is in net tonight for Pittsburgh. So, you have their backup in. I like the Islanders in this game once again. They got a victory the other night. I think this team is going to start rolling. I know they've been having a little bit of difficulties, a couple weeks ago. And last week, they were on a 4 or 5 game losing streak. So they finally had that win. They're trying to start over and turn the side over and hopefully get back on the winning edges. And they have against Pittsburgh last time. I'm taking them again here tonight at that small minus 105 spot. Give me the Islanders here. And now when you talk about over-unders, Pittsburgh 7-3 in their last 10. Islanders are 3-7 in their last 10 on the over. So again, this to me is like another under game. You're in New York. Islanders play true defense, I believe. Like I said, I've always been a believer of defense. And when you look at puck lines here, Pittsburgh's 1-6 in their last 7 on the road. New York Islanders 3-0 at home when covering the puck line. So when you look at this, you could take a possible rain check with the Islanders minus 1.5 puck line here. You're going to get a good plus value as well. But again, I'm leaning here with the New York Islanders on the money line at the minus 105 spot. And I want to take a lean on the under 5.5 in here tonight. Again, I'm not an under guy. We all know that. But again, last night they cashed. And tonight I'm going to start off with the Islanders Penguins under 5.5 as well. So I want to take a quick 2-minute break here. When I get back, I want to talk about the rest of the card. And let's go. Let's rock and roll. Be back, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
At Amazon, we're pretty good at getting things done. We're pretty good at solving problems. COVID-19 is the biggest challenge we've had to face. But challenges are what motivate us. Like flying masks to our employees around the world. We're doing everything we can to get you what you need, and doing everything we can to keep our people safe. I'm former Navy pilot Sarah Rhodes, and I'm proud to lead our Amazon Air network.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking that 2-minute break with me. This is the Thursday, February 11th, 2021 episode of Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only King of the Ice himself. That's me, Philly Pete. And we're live on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 761. I hope everyone is tuning in, having a fantastic Thursday. We are close to Friday, and there's more snow on the ground in the Northeast. Simple as that. So, I mean, what are you going to do? It happens. We got another 4 or 5 inches on the ground this morning. But that's winter for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we love it. That's why we love it. So, the weekend's right around the corner, so let's get into it. Thursday night action. Those that just missed out on the Pittsburgh Islanders game, I did say tonight's game between those two teams, the Islanders on the money line I am taking, and the under 5.5 in this game here. Again, the Islanders are 3-7 in their last 10 on the unders. When it comes to the over-unders. Pittsburgh 7-3 in their last 10 when it comes to the over and unders as well. Islanders 3-0 at home in covering the puck line. Pittsburgh 1-6 on the road when covering the puck line in their last 7. So give me that once again, the Islanders on the money line there, small money line, and the under 5.5 there when you go up there to New York this evening. Moving on, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. Over-under set at 5.5. It will move to 6. I believe most books now are at 6. But for the most part, I have 5.5 here. The Tampa Bay Lightning at minus 160 on the money line. Florida plus 145 as a dog money line. 75% of the money is heading towards the Tampa Bay Lightning here at that minus 160 spot. Florida getting 25% of the money going towards Florida here at that plus 145 money line. So I'm still digging Tampa here. Once again, the over-under set at 5.5 or 6, whatever you get it at. Tampa 6-4 in their last 10 on the overs. Florida 4-6 in their last 10 on the overs here as well. Florida 1-5 at home when covering the puck line. Tampa on the road 2-3 in their last 5 when covering the puck line. So when I look at this game here, I just think Tampa has full control. I think they're going to win here tonight. I absolutely do. They're just too good. They're bigger than Florida. They're better than Florida. So I like Tampa here at that money line here at minus 160. I also like Tampa at minus 1 as well. Over-under set at 5.5. I'm going with the over 5.5. And or if you have 6, I'm going with the over 6 here as well. So there you have it. Also, a team total for the Tampa Bay Lightning right now at 3.5 is at plus 115. That's some good value there for a team that can score at will. And we know this Tampa team can score at will. So all in all, this Tampa Bay Florida game, give me the over 5.5 or over 6. Give me the Tampa Bay Lightning here at minus 160 and the minus 1. And last but not least, the Tampa Bay Lightning team total over 3.5 at plus 115. Again, I see a lot of goals from Tampa here tonight. I think they could score 4, maybe 5, no problem against this Florida team who lacks of defense. And honestly, if this is to go over 5.5, 6 goals, we're going to need at least 2 goals from Florida here because we know Tampa is good for about 4. So there you have it there. And again, Sunrise, Florida, the battle of Tampa and Florida. So there you go. Moving on to this evening's games. These are all 7 o'clock games. Edmonton and Montreal, over-under set at 6.5. Montreal minus 150 on the money line. Edmonton plus 130 as a dog on the money line as well. It opened up at minus 140. Money is going towards Montreal. That's why they're now at minus 150. 65% of the money heading towards Montreal's direction there at that minus 150 spot. 35% of the money going towards Edmonton at that plus 130 spot. Now, Montreal just had a brutal game last night against Toronto. And, Do we see a little bit of a change here from Montreal? No, they're still that good team that we know. But all in all, Edmonton might be a solid dog play of the evening here tonight. I really do. Plus 130, that's good value here. Edmonton had a break, and Montreal's on back-to-backs again after playing a tough game against Toronto last night. Over-under, when I look at this game here, Edmonton is 6-3-1 in their last 10 on the overs. Montreal 5-4-1 in their last 10 on the overs as well. So when I look at this, over-under is at 6.5. I'm going with the over 6.5 as well. You can also look at the Edmonton team total over 3, which I like as well at minus 105. I think that's a good play as well when you look at this team because they're fresh. We know McDavid and Draisaitl and the rest of the gang, they are going to be really, really good. They're going to be ready to rock. They had a good break off, and they're ready to score some goals. So I liked Edmonton team total over 3 in this game at minus 105. Edmonton, a slight dog on the money line at plus 130. I see some true value here. If you don't want to play that plus 130, take the puck line for Edmonton at plus 1.5. I like that as well. Depending on the juice, of course, you could always parlay that with something else if need be, if you're not feeling that big of a number at plus 1.5. So once again, all in all, give me the over 6.5 in this game here tonight. Give me Edmonton plus 1.5. Give me Edmonton on the money line as a slight lean here with that dog at plus 130. And give me the team total over 3 for Edmonton. Now, when you look at this first period over, now I like this first period over as well. I think we could get I'm thinking we could get a 2-0 Edmonton, maybe a 1-1, but I feel like this is going to be a good first period over as well. So there you have it up there in Montreal. Columbus and Chicago, this is an 8 o'clock game. Over-under set at 5.5. Chicago minus 120 on the money line. Columbus plus 105 on the dog. Small value money line there. 65% of the money is on Chicago there. Columbus, 35% of the money. Lankinen has been pretty darn good as of late for Chicago, and I think Chicago fans could get up and start partying a little bit as they have a solid team. They look pretty good. Jonathan Toews, obviously, they're missing him. We're not sure when he's going to come back. But when you look at this here, the over-under is 5-5 for Columbus in their last 10 on the over. Chicago, 3-7 in their last 10. They're playing really good hockey right now in Chicago. They really are. And when it comes to the puck line here, Columbus 0-6 on the road when covering the puck line. And Chicago 6-0 at home when covering the puck line. So this can go either way here for sure. But to me, I just feel like Columbus might sneak this one out. I think they will sneak this one out here. I do like here the plus 105 is a solid value. Now, if you're not digging that, maybe the Columbus puck line at plus 1.5. I know they're 0-6 on the road, but eventually it's going to have to turn at some point. But if you want to go that way, Columbus plus 1.5, parlay that with Edmonton puck line at plus 1.5. That wouldn't be too bad. But I just think something in my gut is telling me that Columbus is going to sneak this one out here. So at plus 105, I want to take the Columbus Blue Jackets here, and that's where I'm leaning this evening. So Chicago fans, don't kill the messenger boy here, please. I know you guys have been playing really good hockey. Lankinen has been playing really good hockey as well. And net, that's what you need for Chicago. But give me the Blue Jackets here at that money line at plus 105. And I'm going with the under 5.5 in this game. I really think we're going to see true defense because these teams are playing really good defense as of late. And I think that's where it's going to be. So give me the under 5.5 in the Chicago Blue Jackets game. And the Blue Jackets on that small value money line at plus 105. So there you have it in Chicago. So running this down real quick for the last 10 minutes that I have with you all. Detroit and Nashville, over-under set at 5.5. Nashville minus 170 on the money line. Detroit plus 150 on the money line. 75% of the money going towards Nashville. 25% of the money going towards Detroit. Detroit 3-7 in the last 10 on the overs. Nashville 5-5 in the last 10 on the overs as well. Now, when covering the puck line, Detroit's 3-5 on the road in the last 8. Nashville 2-5 in the last 7 at home. So, if I'm leaning here, Detroit's going to have to give in at some point. I really think that they're due for one of these games where, if I called Ottawa one game where they won, they were plus 180. This could be a game where Detroit could actually steal. And but I'm not going to. That's a slight lean there. I like the plus 1.5 puck line though for Detroit there. Maybe parlay that with Edmonton or parlay that with Columbus. But I think Detroit will keep this in range here at plus 1.5. I really do. I like this play here a lot. And when it comes to the over/under, again, Detroit's not scoring, and Nashville's another team that's hit or miss as well when it comes to scoring as well. So again, I'm not an under guy, but for some reason the under 5.5 in this game is shouting hello to me. So give me the under 5.5 in Nashville, Detroit, and give me Detroit plus 1.5 on that puck line. So there you have it there in Nashville. Ottawa and Winnipeg over/under set at 6.5. Winnipeg minus 210 on the money line. Ottawa plus 185 on the money line. 88% of the money going towards Winnipeg. That's a high percentage there. And only 12% of the money going towards Ottawa. Again, over/under set at 6.5. Ottawa 3-7 in their last 10 on the over/unders. Winnipeg 5-5 in their last 10 on the over/unders. Ottawa 1-6 last 7 when covering the puck line. Winnipeg 7-1 in their last 8 covering the puck line. I'm all over Winnipeg here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And Winnipeg will be in a money line parlay tonight as well from Philly Pete. I know a lot of you out there love that. So Winnipeg will be a part of a parlay tonight, so be ready for that. I also like Winnipeg minus 1, minus 1.5, and in regulation. I'm all over Winnipeg here tonight. And when it comes to the over/under, I like the under 6.5 in this game. I think that's too many goals. We haven't gotten goals for Ottawa at all. They haven't come through for us. And Winnipeg, like I said, is a team that they play defense, okay? When you see a defensive game, you know they're going to win. And I think this is another game where you can see like a 4-2 game, maybe even a 4-1 game. You know, Ottawa has not been scoring. They'll be lucky to get 2 tonight. So for me, prediction-wise, I could see a 4-1 Winnipeg game here so that everything cashes out. Under 6.5. Winnipeg money line, minus 1, minus 1.5. And then, of course, a leg of the parlay. So there you go. There you go for Ottawa and Winnipeg. Carolina and Dallas over/under set at 5.5. Carolina minus 130 on the money line. Dallas plus 110 on the money line. Dallas getting 60% of the money on that dog play. Carolina getting 40% there on that minus 130. Dallas has lost 2 straight, obviously, to Chicago. And when it comes to the over/unders, again, this is another game where we expect to see some goals. So both teams are 5-5 in the last 10 on the overs here. Both teams are 2-5 when covering the puck line as well, away and home. So when I look at this, I think Dallas is really due for a win here. I know they lost a couple straight in a row. They're home again. Carolina had a couple days off, but I think Dallas at that plus 110 is a good spot here, especially with the fact that 60% of the money is going towards that plus 110 spot, and that's what I like. So I like Dallas at plus 110, trend lately there. And I like the over 5.5. I know they haven't been scoring. The Chicago series was about 3 and 4 goals. You didn't see much, but I think with Carolina's offense in the mix here, I really think that we can get that over 5.5. So I like the over 5.5 and Dallas on that money line at plus 110. Moving on, 10 o'clock puck drops here. We have Calgary and Vancouver. Over/under set at 6. Calgary minus 140 on the money line. Vancouver plus 120 on the dog money line. 60% of the money going to Calgary, 40% of the money going towards Vancouver at that plus 120 spot. Like I said, over/under set at 6. I like the over 6 in this game. Vancouver has no defense. Calgary plays that high-scoring offense, and Vancouver can score too. So when I look at this game and I look at these two teams, I honestly think that we're going to see some goals here tonight. And I think at that 6 spot, it opened at 6.5. Now it's down to 6. But I think it's going to go back up to 6.5 by the time the puck drop happens there. So, all in all, give me the over 6 in this game here tonight. And when I'm thinking about this game, I think Vancouver might pull this off as well. This might be a dog series of games here tonight. So I like Vancouver. They had plenty of time off. Calgary just had a brutal, gritty, gutsy series against Winnipeg. So I think Calgary might downplay Vancouver here for a little bit. And I like the Canucks. So I think the Canucks at plus 120 is great value. If you don't like that plus 120, again, take the puck line at plus 1.5. I think that is a good play as well. And again, the over 6. So there you have it there in Vancouver. Next up, tonight's game, the Anaheim Ducks once again playing the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas minus 225 on the money line. Anaheim plus 185 on the money line. 85% of the money going towards Vegas here at that, of course, that minus 225 spot. I'm putting Vegas in with Winnipeg in a 2-team parlay. I might even add another team for a 3-teamer, so stay tuned to that. But for now, if you want to have some sort of solid money line parlay. Vegas and Winnipeg, that's a good two-teamer, and I believe it pays out plus 115. So you're getting a solid value out of them when you put those two together. Over/under set at 5.5. Vegas is 8-2 in their last 10 when it comes to the over/unders. Anaheim 3-6-1 when it comes to the last 10 as well. We saw an easy over last time, and I think we're gonna get another over here tonight. So give me the over 5.5. Vegas and Anaheim. Give me Vegas on the money line as well, and give me Vegas -1 when it comes to that as well too. So and of course Vegas on the parlay with Winnipeg. That's a good two-teamer. So all in all, I'm all over Vegas, and I'm all over the over in this game tonight between Anaheim and Vegas. So that's where I'm standing. And last but not least, the San Jose Sharks at the LA Kings. Over/under is set at 5.5. I believe this is going to be a game that will move to 6 at some point as well. So that's what I'm digging. I really do. I like that a lot. And, again, this is why I'm telling you guys first and foremost, and ladies out there that are tuning in, take the over 5.5 if it's there, because it's going to move to 6. I like the over 5.5 once again. We got there last time. That was a client play, and I think that we're going to get there again this evening tonight when they both play each other. San Jose -130 on the money line. LA +110 on the money line. 60% money going towards San Jose, 40% of the money going towards LA at that +110 spot. I like LA tonight. I'm going to take a chance here. I think LA will get back, and I think they're going to win this game here. I like that +110 spot for the Kings. And, of course, the over-unders here, 6-4 for the Sharks in the last 10, 7-3 the last 10 for LA. So that's why I'm digging the over. And at home, LA is 5-1 in the last 6 when covering the puck line. So don't be surprised if we see a 4-2 sort of game here for LA. I like that. So maybe a small little token on the -1.5 for LA. But all in all, give me the LA Kings at +110. Give me the over 5.5. And of course, if you're not feeling the money line, take that +1.5 for LA as well to cover that puck line. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of time. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Do what you always do on the weekends. Have fun with everyone. And let's cash some NHL tickets tonight. I'll talk to you all later. Have a great weekend. I'll be back Tuesday. See you guys. Bye.